Hi, welcome to Green Party Green TV. I'm Carey Campbell. Green TV, the show that focuses on independent Green Party and Green Party candidates around the world, right here in Virginia and nationwide, and focuses on the Green New Deal positive solutions, eco jobs for the economy, solar jobs, wind jobs, geothermal jobs, rail jobs. Joining us today on Green TV, Dr. Audrey Clement, longtime leader in Virginia's Green Party and Arlington County School Board candidate, endorsed by the Independent Green Party of Virginia. And Dianne Blais of the Independent Green Party of Virginia. Dianne Blais, of course, a history-making figure in 2014 with her son Jerry being on the ballot for Congress. Dianne Blais in the 10th Congressional District as an Independent Green Party candidate, and Jerry Blais on the ballot in the 8th Congressional District in Virginia. And with us via Skype, this is Eliot Barron, Louisiana's 5th Congressional District candidate down there. So welcome all to the show today. Eliot, let us begin with you, sir. What made you decide to run as a Green Party candidate for Congress in, I believe y'all call it the Bayou State down there, don't you?
Yeah. Or, well, we have a lot of names for it. But there are a lot of bayous and waterways and a river which is not recognized as a river in the Mississippi. And that's an issue that led me to run as a Green Party candidate because we have so much pollution that comes downstream from other parts of the country, and this ever-growing dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, everybody knows about the oil spill and the problems that has caused, not just for the people on shore, but of course for the marine life. But we also have this dead zone where there is nothing living.
Eliot Barron, now I messed up as a host here, and I apologize to our viewers at Green TV. I should start off. We need to know a little bit about you. Where you born, where you grew up, where'd you get your schooling?
Well, I'm an American who was born abroad. My parents were living and working in the United Kingdom, so my birthplace is London, but I have been raised in Louisiana ever since I was an infant. So my father, who comes from central Louisiana, a county for you all, we call them parishes, called Rapides, which is in the district that I'm running for. However, that being my first home, we moved to New Orleans, where there's a lot of work for Louisiana people. And so I grew up technically outside of the district I'm running for, but the Constitution belongs to all of us, not just those rigid the Constitution Party and those people that love to trumpet the founding fathers and invoke their holy names.
Well, Eliot Barron, now, as a Green Party candidate for Congress, apologize for interrupting, I just wanted to call you a fine Southern gentleman. You know, both of us are Southern boys, and so those Southern roots, a Green Party young fella running for Congress down there. Now, tell us about what are your educational qualifications to run for this office, Eliot? Are you an attorney?
No, I'm not. And at one time, I thought you must have to be a lawyer to be a legislator. But I'm a realtor, and I've had a storied career before that. I'm a 39-year-old man. I went to college in Oregon once upon a time at Lewis and Clark College, named for the explorers, and that's obviously a very rich environment where a lot of environmental issues are at the fore. In the early 90s, it was the famous battle over the spotted owl, but that was just really the tip of the iceberg. I did a junior year abroad in Munich, Germany, and at that time in 95, 96, the Greens were ascending to their first full measure of a taste of power. And I learned a lot from them then about the reality and the possibility of Greens having an influence in national politics.
I remember Sarah Parkin of the, Sarah Parkin is a friend of mine, of course, ran for the Green Party there and did just a fantastic job. And you mentioned The Green Party in the UK right now is at record highs in the polling. They're going to have their election in 2015, and the coalition partner there for the Conservatives are what they call the Liberals there, and the Liberal Dems. And the Green Party is out in front of the governing coalition partner right now in the UK. Now, let's shift the focus back to Louisiana and your home and the 5th Congressional District. Is that up in the northern part of Louisiana?
I wish it were peculiar to a particular geographic area, but as a result of the 2010 census and a declining population going back many decades, but especially since Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Rita in 2005, we've been redistricted, and the district has grown to encompass northeast Louisiana, central Louisiana, south central Louisiana, and southeast Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, what are the issues that matter down there, Eliot, to voters in your district in Louisiana, and how can a Green Party candidate appeal to folks and get them to vote for you? What's the issues?
Well, they are many. Louisiana is an outpost of colonial activity for the rest of the United States. We produce a lot of oil and agriculture and seafood, and we have known troubles going back not very far with racial dysfunction and struggle and educational attainment, and not to mention environmental degradation from the oil and gas industry particularly, but as I was saying, from farmers even in the Midwest, all of this mineral-rich water coming down a stream to us. So the Green Party speaks really to almost every aspect of life in Louisiana, and to me, it's a no-brainer. A lot of people are very surprised to hear of the Green Party of Louisiana, or they think it's a quixotic kind of a endeavor to go into the rural parts of the state, which are deeply red and religiously conservative. But as I say, the Green New Deal, as you talk about, is a great opportunity for jobs and investment and updating outdated laws, civil liberties, and more. Of course, the environment and rights for women and other marginalized groups. We have a case going right now where a gay married couple is being prevented from adopting, and I think that needs to be allowed to happen, especially as people want to know what to do with unaccompanied minors at the border. I think as a nation we should put our money where our mouth is and adopt these children.
If you've just turned in, you're watching Green Party Green TV. Here, I'm Carey Campbell of the Independent Green Party. This is Dr. Audrey Clement, the Green Party, and Dianne Blais, Independent Green Party. Eliot Barron is a Green Party candidate in Louisiana, running for Congress, and that's all of us. Dr. Clement, please come in. Now, Eliot, you've met at Green Party events. What question would you like to ask Eliot Barron of the Green Party of Louisiana?
Well,
I have a question.
Dianne Blais.
I don't know if Eliot remembers me from being in Minnesota, but
at the Green Party National Convention.
Right, and I was wondering, the training that he got there, has it helped him a lot? Because he and I were both in the same classes together. So there were classes, I don't know if they were classes, but discussion trainings that we had. So I was wondering.
Sure, I certainly do attribute a lot of my successes to both this national meeting and also the mess I'm in to last year's national meeting, where I picked up on the call for more candidates, and no sooner had I come home from that than there was an opportunity to raise the green flag and bear the standard, because what happened was there was basically an internal decision made to pass off the seat to a good party boss. And as I said, this district encompasses 24 of our 64 parishes, and is going to be the home of a huge discovery. It's the Tuscaloosa Shale, and it's being developed, and there's a big fight over fracking taking place, and but it's going to happen, and so we just need to make sure that it happens as carefully as possible, and because our natural resources are all that we have in Louisiana, because we're known to be so poor and behind in many standards.
Well, as a Green Party candidate, Eliot, as I would imagine that the renewable energies of wind, solar, the geothermal, there are a great many of those resources in Louisiana. Is that
As a matter of fact, there's a lot of focus on renewables. However, there's also a lot of resistance, and so for that reason, again, the Green Party is imperative.
You must have candidates. If I could, Eliot, shift the conversation, because we have Dr. Clement here, who's often served as a Virginia delegate of the Green Party to the National Green Party. And you hear in the media much discussion of 2016 politics. Of course, it'd be great if we'd get through the other 2015 first. Some of the Green Party, possible Green Party candidates for president that I have seen out there are, there's a Ready for Jill. Dr. Jill Stein was a Green Party nomination in 2012. So the possibility that Dr. Stein may run. U.S. Senator, the independent from Vermont, there's a Green Party group out there trying to draft him. And there are various other possibilities out there. Now, go ahead.
Well, I just think Bernie Sanders would be great personally too, but Jill has shown her, she went so strong in the last campaign, and I think
she really
would be great in this one too. So it's
Dr. Audrey Clement, Green Party, the most influential Green Party person at this table when it comes to presidential nominees.
Who do I favor?
Or just talk to us about it.
All right, I'm
Tell
going
us.
to tell you what I favor, and then that will determine who I favor. I recently learned that any presidential candidate can begin raising money to get on the ballot in January of 2015 under current FEC rules. Now, this is not a big deal, I guess, with corporate party candidates, because they don't have to do ballot access. They are usually assured a ballot line in every state. However, Green Party candidates are not. Now, the big difficulty in 2012 was that our presidential candidate, Jill Stein, did not really begin raising money until at least January of 2016. She spent most of the year raising money for ballot access and then found it impossible to campaign. Now, I want to jumpstart this process by having our prospective presidential candidates raising money for ballot access beginning 2 months from now.
All right.
And this would be not only serve a tactical purpose, namely to get our candidates on the ballot in every state, but it would also represent a strategic coup, because it would enable us to use existing law to subvert the corporate parties.
Or would you say change, influence, to put it in a positive?
Well, in other words, it would be totally legal. I mean, they couldn't stop us. The law is on the books. It says that we can start raising money. And if we can get our candidate on the ballot in 2015 in every state, then this candidate would be enabled to campaign as a viable presidential candidate.
I was very impressed, having seen all of the Green Party candidates since Ralph Nader ran in '96. Of course, let's list them. It was Ralph Nader in '96, Ralph Nader in 2000, with Winona LaDuke on the ballot for vice president as the Green Party candidate. 2004 was Patricia Helen LaMarche and David Cobb as the Green Party team. 2008, Cynthia McKinney and the lovely Rosa Clemente. And 2012, the Green Party candidates were for president and vice president, Dr. Jill Stein and Sherry Hunkela. Dr. Stein, of all those Green Party campaigns, and all of them very praiseworthy, seemed to me to be the most inclusive, the one with optimism, and the Green New Deal platform was absolutely impressive. Eliot, what are your thoughts?
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, we've got you now, Eliot. Go ahead. I can hear you.
The question was?
Okay, so we're talking about Green Party national politics, Eliot, and who out there might make a great Green Party candidate for president in 2016. Dr. Clement just explained to us that she's advocating that whoever the Green Party candidates are, that they get out of the gates in January 1st.
That's right.
Dr. Clement?
That's right.
And start fundraising in 2015. Now, Dianne Blais suggested U.S. Senator Independent of Vermont, Bernie Sanders, would make a great Green Party candidate. Of course, there are websites out there for it. Dr. Jill Stein, there's a Ready for Dr. Jill Stein website out there advocating that she run. And of course, some of us are big fans of the three-time independent mayor of New York, Mike Bloomberg. Who do you think will lead the Green Party to victory?
Well, I'm not sure I would dare to say, but I must say that it was Dr. Jill Stein herself who really inspired me to get active and organized. And that's when I discovered that the Green Party of Louisiana was lacking a dynamic force at that time. And so looking back at her presidency or run for the presidency in 2012, I think that, she really hasn't really gotten going yet. I'm about finished with Part B of my run for Congress. Last year in the special election was Part A. And I feel like she deserves another chance. She never even got in the debate, but since then on the news, she's had such a great presence and she's been leading a number of initiatives. So I really do have a profound respect for Jill Stein, and I'd love to see her run again. That said, I'm open to anybody who wins.
And of course, Dr. Stein is president of the Green Shadow Cabinet, which includes David Swanson as Secretary of Peace. And the Green Party has put together an entire cabinet, or the Green Shadow Cabinet, as it is called, with leading Greens from across the nation in area of transportation, education, health and human services, and the Green Party, of course, named its Department of Defense the Department of Peace. We've tried the other, maybe we should try. What are some of the changes? Maybe we should try peace. What are some of the changes you'd like to see in Congress, Eliot Barron, sorry. What are some of the changes you'd like to see in Congress?
Well, I think communication is a key issue. I think a lot of people feel very disconnected from their representatives and from the Capitol. I think that the games that I hate to be totally partisan, but that the Republicans are playing in Congress right now. And unfortunately, the Democrats have always played catch up with them instead of playing their own game. So all that happens behind closed doors, the strict control from the Central Committee, all of that, I think is very distasteful and leads to a lot of the distraction that we suffer from here, where we get caught up either on a single issue or by non-issues, and it prevents us from dealing with the issues of justice, peace, true democracy, and the environment.
If you've just turned in, this is Green Party Green TV. I'm Carey Campbell, your host today. Dr. Audrey Clement of the Green Party, Dianne Blais of the Independent Green Party, and Eliot Barron, congressional candidate for the Green Party in Louisiana, with us today. Eliot Barron, all of us in America witnessed the tragedy of Katrina, and talking to you, I can't help but think about it. Eliot, what is it like in Louisiana now? Has Louisiana bounced back? Is New Orleans okay now? And what a Green Party person we both know, Malik Rahim, along with the famous Hollywood actor, got those green homes going down there, to build those renewable energy homes down there. Are things looking better? Do you see a positive green path forward in Louisiana, Eliot Barron?
I certainly do, but that doesn't mean that it won't happen without a lot of hard work. and continued dedication and support. I've been working on some podcasts that where we lay out the issues and opportunities in Louisiana right now. I would love it if people checked them out. They're available on the internet. Just search by name. I think they're in all the right places. Can I say iTunes and Stitcher and Facebook?
Please do, Eliot, and please promote your website, your Facebook page. Go ahead and tell us where all our viewers can find Eliot Barron Green Party.
Well, I would love to, and thank you for the opportunity. Let me finish answering your question, which is to say that we have been the recipients of such an outpouring of support and guidance from green-minded and really compassionate people around the country who understand what it's like to be victims of terrible weather and also down-pressing realities of society. So I think, you know, it's still a delicate balance between our troubled past and our bright future. And you can hear all about it on my website. It's sort of rail related. It's called Off the Rails. But I think really we're on track.
Thank you, Eliot.
Anyway, it's
and
called
I want
Off the Rails, and you can check it out on my website, www.eliotsbarronforcongress.com. I use my middle initial for disambiguation.
And we want to let our viewers know you can catch Green TV on both Comcast and Cox, 9:30 p.m. on Mondays, 7:30 a.m. on Tuesdays, 3:30 p.m. on Saturdays. And we want to, right here in the middle of the show, we've got just a couple of minutes left, thank our Green TV crew. That is Martin Dudley, Happy Garcia, Carey Rafter, Martin Dale, and Kate Alexandrova. Thank you all. Now, we've talked Green Party politics nationwide. We've talked Green Party politics in Louisiana. Eliot, who, as you've watched the nation this in 2014 of so many excellent Green Party candidates running, who were some that you were just so proud of and so happy to see? Any names come to mind? Say, for example, the mayor of Richmond, California, running for her third term, Gail McLaughlin.
Well, I certainly applaud her. I was going to go with Howie Hawkins because people are really throwing their weight behind him right now in a populous place and with a dubious name like the Empire State. I think it's great to have a Green Party candidate.
And other Green Party candidates that you see coming in 2015 in Louisiana, you're vigorously, I suspect, out there campaigning and recruiting for other Green Party candidates. Anything you want to, anyone in the Green Party in Louisiana you want to call our attention to?
Well, I do want to tip my hat to Malik Rahim, who is not actively running for any office that I know of. Unfortunately, I'm the only candidate statewide at this time. But he was a leader who acted while others waited. That was his slogan, a leader who acts while others wait. And I just was very inspired by that, cast a vote for him most certainly, and wore his t-shirt to the Bush Presidential Library, which got me some looks, I'll tell you what. We have an amazing emblem here for our Green Party. It's an angry pelican arising, you know, from the mandala of life / the oil-tainted waters of the Gulf. And I really want everybody to know that we need help in Louisiana. This is a critical battleground state. We don't get any respect for any of that because we're not a swing state electorally. But name your issue and we live it. And at the same time, a lot of the things that we experience are on behalf of the rest of the world. For instance, the low wages that our service industry employees try to live on.
You're talking here with three people who consider themselves Green Party conservatives. When you talk about the federal budget, in 2014, the total federal government spent $3.5 trillion, ran a federal deficit of $485 billion, spent $605 billion on military spending. Eliot Barron, how would you, as a Green Party candidate elected to Congress, change that budget?
Well, it would certainly, the military budget, do you mean, or just
Well,
the
I mean the
overall?
overall federal budget, but that is, of course, the number 2 budget item. The second largest spending in the U.S. federal government is military spending. And of course,
Right, you are.
uh,
So, I mean, certainly it's worth scrutinizing those contracts. You know, everybody wants to give the welfare, the recipients of social welfare grief for driving our nation to ruin, but I really think it's people that get overpaid to, say, build a wall across a desert, or to be the sole contractor responsible for cleaning up a whole-scale devastation of a city or region, as we saw after the storm. And these were all contracts that were managed through the Federal Emergency Management Agency or the Department of Defense. I don't want to say the H word, but I would like to see some people lose their contracts and their sort of monopoly player status. I would like to see education get a larger share of the budget, and I certainly think we need to maybe not be as generous to oil and gas or some of the other industries which receive such, in many ways, mind-blowing subsidies.
yes. Eliot Barron, you're a kind and Southern gentleman, as we remarked earlier in the show. We're at just about a minute to go, folks. We're almost out of time. Dr. Audrey Clement, a Green Party member, independent Green Party candidate endorsed. You've got like 20 seconds to say whatever you want.
Well, I would say that the Green Party, for those who are cynical of it, have a monopoly on the most important issue confronting the world today, and that's called climate change.
Dianne Blais, 20 seconds.
What I like about the Green Party is it has so many issues, not just environment like so many people think, but social issues, the military, the whole budget is, we want changed.
I want to thank our Green Party Green TV guest on today's show, Dianne Blais, Independent Green Party, Dr. Audrey Clement, Green Party, and Louisiana Green Party, Eliot Barron. Thank all of you. Go Green, vote Green. Thank all of you for joining us. Please watch us again next time. I'm Carey Campbell, Green TV.